Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each episode gives you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedict, and I'm feeling a bit drained.
And I'm Benedicte. Today is May 19th. This is episode number 243, and I'm feeling tired today.
Are we like a bundle of energy today?
We are, but then like today I'm feeling so much better, but my body is like mentally I'm starting to get my energy back, but my body is like, we need rest. You can try to think or like pretend that you're, energetic, but you are not. But I sent this to like this girls group that I have. Somebody knew how I felt on Facebook. And it is the feeling of being exhausted, overwhelmed, and overstimulated, which is the word exhauster-well-mulated.
Yeah, we should add that to the feelings wheel. Like I feel like,
and I remember as I said tired, like no, I'm not tired. That is my feeling.
Yeah,
exhauster, well-mulated. And the social media video was of this like super frazzled llama with a scarf and like his hair all like weird and just like looking super frazzled. I was like, yes, my spirit animal this last 3 weeks or last 2 months. I don't even know. Life has been a roller coaster, but hopefully it's gonna slow down and I can get some work done this week.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Like for me, it feels like my brain's tired. My body's okay actually, but yesterday was the worst. Like I could not focus on anything. It was just like staring at the screen and blanking. Basically, today is a little bit better, but also not impressive. So I don't know what's going on.
You might be so parents. It's the new vocab from America. I heard Maycember. Because May is when all of the school activities or like kids' activities has their end of term, show or play or ceremony or whatever. So parents are very overwhelmed in May. And in Norway, we top that with the best day of the year, May 17th, our grand national day, where we just have fun the whole day. And this year, my sister and her partner and her 1-year-old was here. And I had to prepare them. So in our WhatsApp group, I'm like, this is the schedule. I know it's a lot. You can add in some breaks here and there. And they were like, okay. And when I've typed it out, because we just start in the morning and we kind of know what's going to, happen every year because it's basically the same thing every year. But when I typed it out, it was like celebration breakfast, 7:30. Get the kid to the parade, where like meetup location, 9 a.m. And then bike home, take all the others down to the parade so we can get a look and wave at the daughter in her first time marching with the marching band with an instrument. The other years she's been like marching in her kind of training uniform, but now she like got her full uniform and she got to play in the parade. So it was very important that we stood on the right side so we could see her on the right side. And then I had to run to meet her at the pickup point. And then we had a pretty calm walk across the piers where we actually found a table and had some food, which I think was key for the success of this year, 17th of May. Then it's up to the school where you have to sell things in the cafeteria or the outside cafe for the marching band because they get the income this year. And then there's another parade. And at this point, my sister and brother-in-law was like, we're going to go back to the house for a break. Like there's nothing left in their face.
Completely drained as well. So maybe
drained.
I don't have kids. There's no activities. I haven't been to that parade, but I still feel drained. Maybe it's like.
I think it's like the internet and like all of the. Yeah, it's just like all of us other like parents are so frazzled. We just kind of give it over to the rest of the population. So they went home, we stayed, and then 2 hours later, we all met up for the neighborhood party. That ended early this year. Like everybody was done by 10 o'clock. Usually, if it's really nice weather, we've been ending up sitting there until after midnight. But at 10 o'clock, we all crashed into our beds, and that was this year, 17th of May.
Nice. I mean, sounds like a fun day for the most
It's
part.
insane. So somebody summarized it. It was some guy who's moved to Norway, I think from Nigeria, who's doing well on social media. He's like, it's like Fashion Week, like National Day, Carnival, and he had like 3 other things all wrapped into one day.
Is there any other things like this, or do you just do one day a year and then?
We do one day a year, yes. And it's so fun because Norwegians never talk to each other on the bus, right? And never talk to each other in public if you don't have to. Like, we are a very introverted people, like not me specifically, but as a population, we are super introverted. I mean, we used to like sit on top of a mountain, and our neighbors would be, you had to walk down the mountain and then row for 5 hours to get to church. Like that's our like legacy. But on 17th of May, like suddenly we're all social, extroverted, or at least everybody that shows up in town. So on the bus, it's so crowded and everybody has to cooperate to like get everybody into the bus and out of the bus. And then for the parade, it's like, what number is your kid's school? Okay, so yours is 10. Can we get to the fence at school 3 so we can look at our kid? And everybody's like, yes, of course. And I think like part of why I love 17th of May so much is that my country gets my personality. So I don't have to feel weird.
For one day a year, you feel
one
like
day a year, I feel like my country men are like me. I know it's in there, because I see it on 17th of May. I know it's in there. So I've always loved 17th of May. My mom would just stay at home and watch the parade on television, and I would head downtown and just get all of that energy going. So
nice.
Anywho, that was a long story about 17th of May, but it is my favorite day of year.
Learned something new. So what else have you been up to since we last talked? I know when we recorded the last episode, you were just about to leave for your bachelorette trip to New York City, right?
Yes. So I knew the girls had planned something, but I was like, it's mostly a girls' trip. It was not a girls' trip. It was my bachelorette party. So I walked around Manhattan in a sash that said bride to be, with a little like veil on my head and the whole shebang. And they reluctantly dragged me into a bridal saloon where I found the dress. Ooh. So now I have a way too expensive, way too big dress. And I'm not really sure how the wedding is going to fit around this dress. It's so big.
Well, everything has to be bigger now, of course, right? Like you have to replan everything.
I have to replan everything. Now I'm going to ask the neighbor if I can borrow their garden as well for the wedding, so we can accommodate my dress. But it was a lot of fun. I was sick the whole time, but America has some very good medication. So an espresso martini and some Dayquil is worked well. So I had a lot of fun, and we did, went to this bar on the 43rd floor of some hotel and like ate good food and just hung out together. And, I think I wrote them thanking them that they knew better what I needed than I knew myself. Like, my one friend,
nice,
when I tried the dress on that I decided on for the second time, like she cried. She was like, I knew you had it in you. I knew it. Because I don't usually wear like form-fitting clothes, or, I'm not usually that kind of girl, but inside here, deep down, there seems to be a princess that wanted out.
So. A queen, no? Like it's the queen that wants proper wardrobe.
The queen ones. Yeah, maybe. So fun story was that I was going to stay a couple of more days. So when I said on the Sunday, like, yes, I've decided to buy the dress, my friend was like, let's go and get it. And I was like, no, I can just pick it up another day, and we can just chill together on this Sunday. And one of my good friends and who kind of like kickstarted this weekend, she was just like, I do not trust you. You will find an excuse. So she just, ordered an Uber, dragged me into the Uber, went to the bridal salon, and she was like, I'm not leaving New York without you having actually bought this dress. So a little heavy-handed there, but I now have a dress. So
nice.
I've done the most cliche wedding activity ever. I said yes to the dress.
Does that show run in Norway as well?
It does. I have not. I think I watched like 5 minutes of one, and just it wasn't my thing. So that's why I was like, I'm not doing this. So anyway, it was a lovely weekend. Lots of fun. Spent some more days in Queens with my cousin, where I was basically useless, kind of sick, kind of a little bit anxious for my mom's celebration of life thing or memorial or whatever we want to call it that I had in a bar. And I was like, how is this going to turn out? And what will people think? And, who will show up? And like, what will I say? And all of that. So I was a little anxious and useless those last couple of days. Landed in Norway Thursday morning, had this thing on Friday afternoon. It went really well. Good vibes all around. I managed to speak. And I think I go into some kind of gear. Like I was afraid I would just start crying or not be able to speak. But like I managed to get into that more like stage persona, I guess.
Yeah,
yes. And
do the presentation, show the slide deck, and then
I somehow I got that energy. And I also started my talk with an Eminem song, and they turned it on very low, so I was like, louder, so like gave me a little bit of a energy boost into my talk or my stories of my mom. So that was the story of me coming back home in high school. I could hear Eminem all the way down the street. I walk in the gate, she's like doing her flower bed listening to Eminem, and I was 16. I was like, are you not supposed to be looking for work? And she was like, we're fine. We have money for another month or two. I was like, okay, we'll be fine.
Oh, but that's a good story to get it started, right?
Yeah,
like,
but she was right. Like she got a job right away as soon as she just like, stuck her head out of the flower bed and said she wanted some more work. So it was all good. But I was like, how are you supposed to rebel when your mom listens to Eminem and and it's just super cool. So that's my trauma. I never got to rebel. But anywho, the next day we traveled to Sweden to celebrate my niece's one year birthday with my dad. Still sick, but like pretending not to be, taking some more nice medication. And then back to Oslo. And then I had a couple of days off. And then we had 17th of May. So that's what I've been up to. Have I done any work? No.
Well, I guess that's fine. Did you get better? No, you're still sick. So I guess no time to actually recover.
I do not recommend this schedule, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't.
But I guess it is what it is.
It had to be done.
At least
it had to be done.
At least you got it all checked off now, and I think it's probably your good right to feel a little bit tired right now.
Yes, or over. What was the word again?
Over
exhauster, well-mutilated.
Exhauster, well-mutilated. Yeah, okay, for sure, absolutely.
But luckily, I have a daughter who has a baking business, and she had her first repeat customer for 17th of May.
Nice.
So she's very excited
now. Did you do this last year as well? And the repeat customer came this year, or tell me more, basically.
So this is a super like SaaS business lesson. I think she started this business, I think it's a year ago, like roughly a year ago. She was like, I love to bake brownies. I want to sell brownies. She had realized that people they can't always bake their own things. You know, it might be time, it might be skill, it might be whatever. So she wanted to start this baking business. I was like, fine. She made a website. We made a Google form. She made flyers. She hung it up at the local store. I made some posts in our neighborhood group, but like crickets. Like nobody's really bought anything, except for then a friend, like somebody in our circus group bought one because we brought flyers to the circus and like taste samples. So she bought one for her daughter's birthday, but then nothing. And then we haven't really done anything about it. But her flyer at the local store, it keeps showing up on top of all of the other posters. And I've been like, Lillian, have you been putting it on top of the other posters? Like, that's smart. And she's like, no, I haven't. And then 3 or 4 weeks ago, we got an order, or she got ordered, nice. But like it comes to my email. And it turns out he's been looking at this poster for a year. And he's the one who's been like making sure it's on top of the other posters because he thought it was so cool that she was like doing her own business. And then they were going to celebrate a friend's 30th birthday and they can't bake. So they were like, finally, I can order a cake. And they were so happy. They now ordered a cake for 17th of May too. So she's had like 3 customers, but one is repeat, which I think, you know,
that's
is good.
Awesome.
But the lesson here that I've kind of tried to explain to her is that, or impart on her, is that it takes a year at least to like get people to like remember that you exist and then have a situation where they need to activate on that knowledge, right? So I think it's been a very good business lesson. And now she's very motivated. So today she has expanded her selection, which I don't know if it's good or not. You know, like, do we want a lot of options here? But so now you can order brownie or focaccia or cookies.
Yeah, I like it. I'd love to have one of each, please.
Yes. No international shipping, unfortunately. Only local pickup and delivery. So, but you know, so if I never get any more work done, we're just gonna make hobby bakery.
Yeah. But it's also kind of cool that a random person took care of that flyer and always put it on top, because otherwise it would have been buried and they would probably have forgotten about it. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and he came and picked it up and like he was super excited, you know, to meet the baker and the whole thing. And we were like, so do you have any powdered sugar to have on top when you serve it? And they were like, no. So Lillian got a little powdered sugar in the bag for them. And it was a whole thing. So yes, I think it's been a good learning opportunity.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But over to you. Have you done any real work? Like now, I just spent half of this episode talking about everything not SaaS. Yeah. Oh, I have a SaaS related thing.
Ooh.
Because on the night I arrived in New York, Laravel had a meetup.
Oh. So you did a bachelor party at the Laravel meetup?
No, I went to the Laravel meetup, and then the next day the bachelor party or bachelorette party started. Yeah. So, but even like Taylor Otwell was there, and it was like a whole thing. I said hi to him, but not anything more than that. But if you're in Europe and you're into Laravel or Rails, I guess, both of them, Taylor and DHH, are showing up at Laravel Live Denmark in September. We can't go, but I think that's quite a pull for a smaller
pretty
conference.
Cool, yeah, for sure.
So they're going to do some kind of panel.
And I think our friend Michelle is hosting it, right? Like she's moderating and asking the questions, if I remember correctly. So yeah, pretty cool.
That might be right. Yeah.
Or is it her husband doing it? I don't know. One of the two. So yeah, what happened on my side? It feels like I didn't get a lot of stuff done since we last recorded an episode. But overall, as a company, we had a pretty good couple of weeks. Leo, who's our front-end engineer, has been spending a ton of time. Basically, I come up with ideas of stuff I think would be cool, and then throw them over to him, and he has to figure out how to actually do it. But like, we're still actively working on the pretty emails, theming stuff that I keep talking about for the last, I don't know, forever. But we're making some good progress. So the last big thing I threw at him was we have these liquid tags that you can insert into your emails to do some logic and interpolation of like the first name, last name, stuff like that. And with the new inside our editor, they actually get some styling, so it's a little bit of syntax highlighting, I guess, and some autocomplete and stuff like that. But with the new goal of having the editor like fully WYSIWYG, we needed a way to insert that stuff without it being messed up by the rest of the email styling. So we had to be creative and come up with a way to insert that stuff and just keep it isolated. And this was the very first time I've actually used web components, like native web components. Well, he did all the work. But like, we're now using native web components with Shadow DOM to insert that stuff into the actual emails. So they have their own little HTML tag that's like liquid object, liquid tag. And they have their dedicated styling, just like a default input field would have. And with that, it's pretty isolated. Like, you cannot accidentally mess it up by setting some other styling on how a div looks or whatever. They're like pretty little.
So the web components don't inherit the CSS from above themselves in the hierarchy.
Exactly. At least with the Shadow DOM stuff, it's basically isolated. And then you can also do some styling like on the host element. So from inside the shadow, you can style the host and then, I don't know, give it a border and stuff like that. And I think you can overwrite that stuff from the outside, but at least you need to be pretty specific of like targeting that one element, and you don't accidentally change the styling by styling a button or something like that, right? So that was the main goal, to keep the stuff like mostly isolated or as isolated as possible, so you don't accidentally mess with that stuff. And if you still like explicitly change the styling, well, I guess then that's up to you. But at least you don't accidentally do it. That was like the big goal. I think the initial implementation took like a day or two, and then we spent, I think we spent 4 or 5 days mostly on a call together in Tuple. By the way, Tuple is still amazing for pair programming. We spent hours a day on the call trying to debug an issue that would only show up in Safari. And specifically, it was something like, we have to like tag, and you click on it. And then, of course, you want the cursor to be where you clicked. But what happened was that the cursor would always jump to the very front of the liquid tag, and only in Safari. And they couldn't reproduce this in Chrome or Firefox. And we, as I said, like spent like 4 or 5 days looking at this, scratching our heads, like in the debugger, like in all of those 3 browsers, like trying to figure out what the F is going on. And I think it was, Friday that week then, where we finally noticed that, like, when you clicked it, like, the JavaScript code intercepts the click and then gets the selection, like the selection object for that position. And it turns out it was returning this, like, we rendering this in an iframe also for isolation and stuff like that. And we were always getting the selection of an element outside the iframe. And we was like, what is going on? Like how? Like, the iframe is supposed to be super isolated. And but we were able to reproduce this. Like, we eventually found the exact place in the code where the wrong value came back. we were like, okay, this must be a bug in WebKit. And we were like, okay, we should probably submit this. And we tried to build a small reproduction thingy. And then we figured out that methods that we're calling and that returns the wrong value doesn't even exist in Safari and WebKit. So we're like, what is going on? Like, it's there, we're calling it, returns the wrong value, but when we try to reproduce this in isolation, the method doesn't exist. So after another hour or so of like digging, we found out that the editor framework we're using is actually monkey patching that method onto the DOM element. And there was it was messing up the context. So it was it was just not using this. It was basically doing a search traversal over a tree and then basically leaking the document context into the iframe. And I think we were too exhausted at this point to actually celebrate this, but this was a pretty big, it was a big moment, and we were honestly very relieved that we found this issue, and it turned out to be a 3-line fix. Mostly it was using an arrow function, and we replaced it with an anonymous function and used this instead of the outside local variable, and that's it. It was a 3-line fix. But we spent hours and hours and hours.
I understand why you feel like you haven't accomplished much, because when you spend that much time on something that's small, in the end, you feel you can logically look at the time and say I spent all this time and it was important time, but it gets collapsed into that 3-line fix. So
exactly.
What you feel you've done the last week is a 3-line fix, even though the effort obviously was
the effort was
week.
Insane. But honestly, in the end, it was good that it was just a 3-line fix, because if it hadn't, this was more or less you could argue Safari market share isn't that big, but it's still my main browser, and for the most part, we wanted to work in the major browsers, and if that thing wouldn't work properly, that would have been a deal breaker for the entire approach of doing this, right? So being able to figure this out, find the solution, and fix it. By the way, npm patch, probably most underrated feature, because we were able to just patch it locally without having to contribute and get it merged and stuff like that. We're still probably going to do that and get the fix into the upstream repository, but just being able to fix the library on the fly is pretty nice. Anyways, long story short,
awesome. Good job finding this.
We fixed it, and once again it was also a lesson and digging deeper, because we thought we fixed, we found a bug in WebKit, and we could have just worked around it outside of WebKit, right? But then digging deeper and trying to isolate the problem in WebKit itself made us realize that the place we thought the error was happening at wasn't actually the correct one, and the fix was actually way simpler by just fixing the root of the problem.
This is why all maintainers want you to create an isolated, reproducible example.
Exactly.
Because usually when you do that, you figure out that
the problem was something completely different, right? Yeah. Exactly. So I'm glad we spent that 20 minutes or so. It didn't take that long to realize that the problem wasn't the problem we thought we had found, wasn't actually a problem that was there. So yeah. Anyways, long story short, fixed it, can move on. Have it now deployed on a preview brand. No, that code is actually in production already. So even though we're not fully doing the styling yet, the web component stuff is actually in production. People are using it and not noticing that anything changed. So best outcome possible, I guess.
Best outcome.
In other news, maybe long-term listeners remember my video challenge that I had with my co-founder Jane in Q4 of last year.
That you lost.
We all lost, yeah. But I think I recorded 4 videos, and she recorded none of them.
Oh, okay.
I still.
I just remember you not like making as many as you were supposed to.
Yeah, I was supposed to make 10 and I only made 4, but she didn't make any.
Okay.
However, Redemption Arc, in the past 2 weeks, I think she recorded 15 videos or something like that.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure what happened, but like I'm pretty excited. Like our website now has like lots of explainer videos, and she is on a roll. It's actually amazing to watch. It took, like as usual, right? It took forever to get like over the initial inertia of getting started, but now that she figured out the process and like has the motivation, she's hammering out the videos. I get multiple notifications from Vimeo every day of like, your video's ready. Your video's ready. I'm like, what? Like, what is going on? We also added a little new widget to the website. So even on the marketing page, on the feature page and stuff like that, we now have little widgets that like you can click on and get like the explainer video right away. Will it help? I don't know. Probably doesn't hurt though. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then finally, as like the last,
I just want to say, I think it helps in that you get a sneak preview of the UI, because a lot of us, there's a lot of bait and switch, beautiful marketing page. You sign up, you're excited. And then the actual user interface is not as advertised.
Right, yeah.
And even like the little kind of screenshots on the marketing page are like artistic re-renderings of whatever's in the UI. So having videos that feel like they are from, that are real and authentically from the actual UI gives you the confidence that, okay, this is polished all the way through and not just a bait and switch.
Right. Yeah, that's probably true. Again, like I don't think it will be like changing numbers drastically, but I agree that it's probably helpful, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't hurt, at least. So yeah, that has been going on. And then last but not least, I might have mentioned this sometime last year, but we had a rough year in terms of like, I'm sure I mentioned this. Like we had last year was rough in terms of MRR and growth, and we had some massive churn, and things were going down. I can finally report that we not only made up all the losses from last year, but we have hit an all-time MRR record last Thursday. So I'm like, woohoo, we are back. Ooh, confetti. I think we should be celebrating this more than we are at the moment.
Yes. Like during delete, you're like, oh, I'm drained. Oh, I haven't done anything. And then you just have I thought you said your mood was tied to MRR. Is your mood only tied to downward MRR? Is that what you're saying? When it's going down,
I guess
you get annoyed, and then when it goes up, you're not happy. You got to look into this.
Yeah, maybe it is. I think, I don't know. Like, I think there's still something to it in terms of like, I still think I'm more lighthearted and like cheerful when it's going up. And I think overall, like, I think this is still true. Like, even though I feel drained, I think it's still true. But I think it's also maybe that feeling drained is like just like that weight lifted off your shoulders, that you're finally back to where you were like a year ago.
And you have to start pretending like it's fine, everything is fine, I'm fine, it's fine. It's fine. And then finally you don't have to pretend it's fine anymore.
Right.
Like,
and it's like,
oh God. Finally I could just
maybe some of that is what's happening at the moment. It's like just like plowing through that I called it the valley of MRR sorrow earlier today.
Yeah.
It's like just feels good to be on the opposite end of this, and let's hope it doesn't go down anytime soon. For the most part, I'm still excited about what we're doing, and I think everyone's motivated to push forward and like grow this and put the work in and just show up every day, or at least Monday to Friday, and get this improve everything that we can. So feels good.
I feel like you
that
deserve the
it's working.
up now.
What's that?
I feel you deserve it. You've been like hanging in there and doing good work all year, and then things are turning around.
We do, yeah.
And hopefully you cross the chasm, and this is you crossing the chasm. And
at least that one in particular, like we made it all the way down to the bottom and all the way back to the top.
And maybe you now get the I think so. I have a good feeling.
Me too. Like we did a lot of, I don't know. Was it a good thing that it went down? No, probably not. But it was also a proper kick in the butt to double down and like improve things. And I think we made some good progress. So overall, I'm happy. And that's about it. I think I probably forgot a thing or two here and there, but like that covers the past 3 weeks, I guess.
I forgot to tell my happy story. I don't know if you've ever seen this British comedian that talks about how he stores things in his loft and in his man drawer and is waiting for his quest that somebody will call in and be like, you have to order from a 1996 Indian menu using your radiator bleed key and blah, 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 blah. Well, my call came in. Lillian Cirque was like, does somebody have old electronics we could use to decorate the stage? I'm like, yes, I do. I've been waiting for this for years. So I just dropped off like 8 iPhones, 4 keyboards, a packet of discs, and some old Mac mouses with like cords so they can like hang around on the stage. So we'll see how much she uses of it. But I was like, yes, I do, because I haven't been throwing any of this away and felt bad about it. But my call came in. And
now, like in a couple of weeks, they want to bring it back, and you're like, no, this does not get back into the house.
I think maybe I'm going to bring it back into the house, and then we'll see.
Ooh, for next time, okay, fair enough.
For next time, I feel like we're a Mac museum at this point. And so in another 30 years, when somebody's like, how did it actually look, that round mouse that was useless to use? I'm like, well, you can come and test it at my house. Right. The little girls were so excited. They were like, what is this? And I'm like, this is a mouse with a little ball that tracks your movement. They were like, wow. And then I showed
amazing.
And then I showed the other one, and they're like, this tracks with light. And they were like, whoa. And then they like picked up the little iPhones, and they were just super excited about the tiny iPhones. So. And
you 3D printed the safe icon, right?
No. What do you mean?
Like there's a story of like someone showing his kid a floppy disk, not a floppy disk, but like the small 3.5, and they were like, "Wow, a 3D printed version of the safe icon." Because obviously
I didn't show them the discs. I should have shown them I didn't show them those. Then they might have had the same.
Maybe, but I guess the safe icon, as we know it, is also going away, right? Like I feel like I haven't seen that in a while, but still.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, happy days for me that I could contribute with my trash.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it for this week. Hey, we did not record an hour. Like we were
and by next week, I have moved forward on my strangler fig pattern work.
Ooh, okay, then we talk about that stuff next week, I guess.
Yes.
Cool. Well, see you around the interwebs.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.